It was Peter Keane's first season. Does any of that play into how it played out tactically?
I think it does. Inexperience, his first. I mean, he's done very, very well to get them to the final. And the first day, I mean, they'll have nightmares. They should have actually closed out that game. But I wrote a very strong piece on the way they've imploded in the last 10, 15 minutes of big games, 2011, 2013, 15, if you look at it. And the first day as well, Kerry have imploded in big games against Dublin, and that's a massive issue for them going forward. Tactically, yes, and making moves on the line, but the players themselves, they're spooked mentally, I believe, against Dublin going down the stretch. And you could see with Dublin, they just closed out the game in the last 10 minutes pretty easily. And I actually think with 14 men, I thought they were excellent now. 117 from play. I mean, I thought it was brilliant, I have to say like that. But the substitutions, I was crying out for them to make them earlier, and particularly defensively, just make a few changes early on. And they were poor in both of those areas, very poor.
Do you think any other county is in a position to challenge Dublin?
You see, Shane, that All-Ireland, winning that All-Ireland, the momentum that Dublin gained going forward, it was a massive, massive game. If Dublin had lost that, the retirements, probably Jim Gavin definitely would have went. He still might go, but definitely would have went. And for that reason alone, it's beaten the others into submission. I'm looking honestly that Kerry defence need 2 or 3 changes. I don't see them winning All-Ireland. They need a couple. I think there's 4 or 5 players needed. Yes, they're the nearest, but I think truthfully they're probably closer to being back in the pack with Tyrone and Mayo. How close are they really to Dublin over the next couple of years? 5, 6 points still away, in my opinion, genuinely. First day was a little false sense of security, but when you get a chance against Dublin, Mayo had the chances, they couldn't take them. Kerry got one chance, they couldn't take it. So Dublin after winning the 5 in a row, the new younger players that will get such confidence from that going forward. But when the big players, Cluxton, McCarthy, the Brogans, the Flynns, all of those, when they're all gone, Phil McMahon, the likes of Keane O'Sullivan, the Coopers, they've been legendary. When those 7 or 8 or 9 brilliant leaders leave, Dublin will not be as good, but when is it going to stop? Not soon for me. Another 2 or 3 in a row, I think, is definitely there for Dublin.
Do you give Cork any chance of kicking on? Like, it's 30 years since you were playing them in some of those bruising All-Ireland finals. They got to the Super 8s, did well in the Munster final against Kerry, and they were nip and tuck with Dublin for, even though you felt like Dublin will always see this out, 65 minutes in, they were nip and tuck with Dublin. So do you give them a chance of kicking on again next year? And Keane O'Neill is now involved.
Yeah, I was just going to say the background. It was a surprise move for me, that one, I have to say. Very surprised, because, when he was with Kerry down there and all that in of it. Cork caused Dublin untold trouble. I mean, the first half, the first 15, 20 minutes, they blitzed Dublin, they really did. It was incredible stuff to watch. I think the Dublin team were a bit off it compared to the All-Ireland final. Yes, the talent they have. I mean, I was disappointed the way they finished against Roscommon. A win at home, they should have been able to actually achieve that and beat Roscommon. That was going back to the streakiness of Cork. They're very streaking, good one day, inconsistent. But I loved the way they played. I loved the way they actually went about going at Dublin. Some talented forwards, midfield as well. And yes, they're a team. If you look at the Munster final against Kerry, acquitted themselves really, really well. Just they need a defensive system. If they had any sort of a defensive structure in place against Kerry in that Munster final, they actually could have won it. They could have actually won it, but I think 119 they conceded, and overall, yeah, a team as good as anybody else. A bit of belief, find a few new players, but they need to sort out the defence. From midfield up, I think Cork will cause trouble with anybody.